it's me, Adrian. Welcome to another episode of Gee, I sure hope Squid Game is still popular. Make sure to subscribe for my Tiger King diorama. So this was advertised online as a Christmas ornament, and my question is, how? I don't know how I would actually hang this up if I was putting it on my tree. The real problem I have with it is that the pose doesn't match what's in the show. So she should have one arm up on a tree and her head should be spun around the other way. So let's take care of that. I reattached the arm and the head, and then after a fresh coat of paint with more vibrant colors, I gave her a gloss varnish and a black wash, and I think she should be good to go. The tree's made out of florist wire, so I cut out a bunch of really long pieces and I twisted them all together, separating them out as I go in like a fractal pattern to make branches. I wasn't really happy with the thickness or the weight of it, so I bulked it out with some epoxy sculpt, and then I painted over the whole thing with some Mod Podge mixed with black paint to unify the surface texture a bit more and also to glue all the wires together. Then I give it a zenithal highlight, which means I just spray painted over the top of it with white to simulate the direction of the light from the sun. It's pretty neat, you know, check it out. If you look at it from the top, it looks pure white, and if you look at it from the bottom, it looks pure black. And then I just painted over that with some watered down brown paint. You know, I feel like every time I spill paint on my desk or myself, it's always brown. Then I just dry brushed on some extra highlights, and that's it. What else do you want to know about this tree?
Subscribe for more tree content.
These are some O-scale people. O-scale means like 6 or 7 millimeters to a foot. This is the scale that they use in model trains. I sorted out the ones that weren't usable. Basically in Squid Game, since all the players are wearing jumpsuits, everyone who's wearing a skirt or a dress had to be eliminated. I temporarily affixed them to a scrap of cardboard using some hot glue.
Hot glue.
I did try and vary up the skin tone and the hair color a little bit, bearing in mind that it is an all Korean cast, and I do know that. I also gave them a coat of that iconic turquoise, and then I feel like I tend to give everything a black wash without really thinking. I don't know if it was really necessary here, but I did do it. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to paint the stripes on the side because I do know for a fact that I really don't have the dexterity for it, but I went ahead and decided to go for it, and I don't regret it. While I'm not happy with any individual paint job, I do feel like they look pretty good as a unit. That's not real blood, by the way. All right, I popped them all off the base, and now I just got to make sure they all have their trademark white Vans. I don't know if you guys have ever played this game called Hero Clicks. It's from my childhood. I don't think it was ever really that popular, but I mean, I really liked it then and I still do. If you want to play, hit me up sometime. The game is fun because you get to play with a team of Marvel and DC superheroes, but every now and again on the booster packs, you'll get these really lame, like generic SHIELD and Hydra agents or like thugs or criminals. Basically, they're just people with guns. But that's pretty much what Squid Game guards are. So I painted these up in a deep pink and then I gave them a purple wash this time. I bet you didn't see that coming. And then I gave them a dry brush with squid pink. You cannot make this stuff up. Then I just painted in some black details, and then for the PlayStation markings on their face, let's just say I did my best. The base is made out of some wooden shelves from a bookcase that broke in half 10 seconds after I put it together. I left a bad review on that. Anyway, the thing wasn't quite long enough, so I attached 2 of them together. Now, if anything, it's too long. I attached down the tree and the doll using some hot glue. And then I trimmed off any parts of the tree that were overhanging, which would have prevented me from adding on some walls. I've just used some epoxy sculpt to blend in the base of the doll and the tree so it's not like sticking up, as well as to strengthen the join between the 2 boards. And then I just added a little bit more just so those don't stand out, you know, and to add a little bit of texture to the ground so it's not all just one straight plane.
A few later.
So as you can see, I've scratched the surface to hell, and that's to give the glue I'm about to put on it a better chance to adhere. So here's my plan. First, I need to put down a base coat of a color that matches my sand. Then I'm going to put tape around especially this edge, which I want to preserve. And then I'll put down some Mod Podge, and then I will sprinkle sand all over it. And then I'm going to spray that with isopropyl alcohol to break the surface tension. And then I'm going to spray over that whole thing with a mix of water and glue to really lock in all that sand. I use my stupid vinyl cutter that I hate to cut out the shape of a Squid Game pitch, and then I sponged on some white paint, making sure to block your view as much as I possibly could. And then I used blood for the blood god to add some gory blood splatter all over the place. For the walls, I'm starting with some, what is this stuff called? It's not quite cardboard. It's not poster board. It's not wood. It's like the stuff that you'd find on the back of a journal. Anyway, I made a tileable pattern of the clouds in Photoshop, and I do know that I could have just drawn these, but I also know that I didn't. I used some Mod Podge to glue these down like some wallpaper, and then for the seam, I ripped it in half because I wanted a more organic edge to help blend it better. However, in the final product, that seam is present. I cut out the doors, and then out of some construction paper, I cut out the little shapes that go on them. Careful. Careful. And then I glued each one of those onto the door perfectly centered. God damn it. And then I cut each door in half, and then I glued the walls and the doors onto some more of that shelf wood. I needed a few of these rainbow wooden gates, so I cut them out of some coffee stir sticks. You know, these are actually free if you just steal them. I think it's important to know your limits and understand what you're capable of. Take me, for example. I know that making a huge set of some crazy MC Escher-ass looking stairs and keeping everything straight and plumb was just not gonna happen. So my solution was to use Lego. Wait, sorry. I know they're called Lego bricks. The last thing I need is a bunch of angry Lego nerds in my comments driving up my engagement. I used these little black tiles to cover up the studs, but some of the color was still exposed, so I still had to paint them. I printed out some special Lego graph paper that I could use to cut out some more precise stencils so that I could cut the walls for the stairs out of this chipboard. That's what it's called, by the way. I looked it up. I thought I'd make an attempt at some forced perspective, so I made 3 little doors in 3 little sizes. And this does still leave me with some stairs that just lead to nowhere, but it's too late. I'm not making any more doors. I know it doesn't make mathematical sense, but I wanted to have 69 seconds left on my timer because
it's such a beautiful number. 69.
I printed that out, and then I stuck on some packing tape to make it glossy like glass, and then I made a little frame and I wrapped that in aluminum foil so that it would look more like it's made of metal, because I mean it is now. My last step is to just glue on all my little guys. That's it. Bye.